Hi there, my name is Kathleen and I am starting a new vlog series discussing the difficulties, struggles, and nuances of recovering from bulimia and PTSD. I thought that today I would take the time to discuss what I plan on doing, and then next week we would jump right into it. I started this because I was starting to do vlogs, mostly as a way for me to write down or to get out what was going on for me. I was having difficulty writing, and so I started doing vlogs on Thursdays for a group of people on my Tumblr. And I decided that maybe this might be a good way for me to start thinking through some of my own recovery and be a bit more structured about it, so maybe it would be a little bit more productive. So let's get down to my general schedule and we'll see how it goes. So every first Thursday of the month I plan on posting a video titled Therapy Talks, and I will just be discussing things pertaining to therapy, things like treatment options, things that happen in therapy, some of the difficulties that come up, some of my successes, therapists, picking the right therapist, things like that. Things that I need to talk about that are helpful for me and hopefully will be helpful for you. On the second Thursday of every month, I plan on talking about coping skills. For coping skills, I plan on the second Thursday of every month is going to be my day-to-day. So talking about my day-to-day struggles, some of the things I struggle with, things like getting out of bed, to getting out of the house, to eating, things of that nature. And just kind of going through the steps of why that's difficult for me and kind of breaking it down. And kind of breaking down all the difficulties that kind of come into play when I say I'm having difficulty leaving the house, and just breaking it down. Maybe even talking about, my schedule, what things are going on, just day-to-day stuff. Then the third Thursday of every month is going to be coping skills. I'm going to cover one coping skill every third Thursday and kind of talk about what it is, what doesn't work, what do you do, some of the barriers to getting to that coping skill, some of the difficulties with engaging with that coping skill, and ways to make it easier to engage with that specific coping skill. So I hope that might be helpful for you, because I know that might be a great way for me to see what difficulties come up in engaging with that coping skill and ways to make it more accessible. I know that I know a lot of coping skills for myself, and I know that sometimes I still only get stuck with two that are available to me. And that is just not good enough sometimes, because they get overused and I just don't want to use them. So I think that'll be a really good Thursday every month to kind of go through one coping skill. Every fourth Thursday of the month, I plan on discussing why I'm not a nonprofit PSA or infographic. So there are plenty of infographics out there, lots of PSAs and lots of nonprofits that discuss mental health, PTSD, eating disorders, and I want to address each one specifically and why I don't feel I'm a specific one, why kind of going through some of the nuances that occur within mental health and why each specific nonprofit is not mental health in a whole. So kind of breaking down some of the stigmas that come with it, some of the difficulties in seeing overpopularized infographics, and why there's more than one story that comes with each type of mental health difficulty. So with bulimia, there's not just one story about how somebody seemed to fail a diet and decided to take matters into their own hands. That's not even my specific story. And kind of going through the difficulties that come up when those things are popularized, and also why sometimes those are really great tools in understanding mental health for those that don't know mental health or have no experience with it. So I hope that that's a great way for us, or for me, to kind of start breaking down why I don't feel I am one of those things. Sometimes I might also bring up memoirs, so I'm planning on reading some important memoirs on PTSD. I've read some stuff on eating disorders, and I hope that we can kind of maybe once in a while check in on some memoirs as well. So there'll be plenty of ways for us to kind of discuss the ways we see mental health in media and in the public eye. So on the 5th Thursday of every month, when that occurs, when we get thrown one of those, because I know that happens, I plan on covering special topics. So anything from question and answers. So if you have questions for me, I can answer them, and the ways that I would kind of approach those questions and maybe those difficulties you're coming up with. Things like eating recipes, maybe some plans. How do I approach eating? How do I approach flashbacks? Things like that. Maybe a little bit less of the day-to-day. I approach to it in a little bit more of kind of breaking down just different things that kind of come up and that don't come up in those other 4 topics. So those will be kind of for us to talk to each other about, so you guys can shout out some special topics. Sometimes you guys can, maybe ask me questions and we can do a full-on Q&A. Maybe we'll do some live streaming, things of that nature. So the 5th Thursday of every month, when we get thrown one of those, we'll launch into our special topics and have some fun with it. And so that's what I plan on doing it. I'm calling it Run Ed Recovery because my blog on Tumblr is Run Ed Run. And that's a interesting sort of story as to how that got started, and I plan on doing a video. It'll be a special topic about kind of my launch and my story into recovery and how that has been a difficult series of stumbles, pitfalls, and successes, and still some difficulties, and why, how this all came to be. So we'll get into that in the history later, but for now, this is your introduction into Run Ed Recovery, and why we're gonna have some fun. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Some weeks maybe better than others. So I plan on doing this once a week. We'll see how it goes. This is easily transferred into a Monday through Friday type of thing. If I decide to go there, I don't know that I will, but once a week sounds like a lot of fun for me. And I think it'd be really productive. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what you get to see. So we'll see what happens. Have fun and have a great day.